Hello, this is Inside the Press Box with Sunil Sunder Raj of the Everyday Fan Sports. Today, I'm happy to be speaking with Sara Mitchell, the new assistant coach and recruiting coordinator for the Yale University women's basketball team. Coach Mitchell, once again, thank you so much for taking time out to speak with me today. It's really great to be back in touch with you.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for still reaching out, even though I'm somewhere else now. I appreciate always talking to you.
A new opportunity, for you,
Yeah.
Coach Mitchell. Very happy. Can you talk about this, life-changing moment? What made, Yale University the perfect fit for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's opportunity, right? I have dreams and aspirations, and I always laugh when people say, "Well, where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I don't really have an answer for that because I just believe in staying in your present moment, and
Mhm.
opportunities will arise. You're not going to be good at your job if you're thinking about the next thing. So
Yeah.
it really happened as organic as it possibly could. It's a transition, it's an opportunity, and I'm super fortunate. I already really love the staff. I'm getting to meet some of the girls already. So yeah, it was really just an opportunity that I could not ignore. And that just made a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, you have your hands full as an assistant coach and recruiting coordinator, lots of
Yeah,
multitasking, which you're definitely used to. So I have
right.
to ask you, since you joined the staff, what is the daily schedule entail? Just what you've been, how everything's been panning out so far, Coach Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, July was insane.
Yeah.
So I was the last piece of the staff, and I was
Okay.
also hired as the recruiting coordinator. And then July is the biggest, craziest month of recruiting in basketball for women's basketball.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like a messy chaos that we just had to figure out on the fly.
Yeah.
It was also a new role for me. And again, I was the last piece and then had to kind of get us prepared for July.
Yeah.
But one thing that I really love about the staff is that we all put our hands in and we helped each other out because we were all kind of new at this. We were
Yeah.
trying to move into new places, embracing new roles, embracing a new university, and just getting ready to basically represent that in July and recruit for our upcoming classes. So it was crazy. But the chaos sometimes results in a lot of success. So I'm just happy
Yeah.
that I'm able to do it with people who are also really hands-on.
That's fantastic. Hey, a new staff, a new regime, is it on this basketball team? And I wanted to really put this out there first and foremost, and the significance that I place on. We talked about before we came on there, women in sports. This is an all-female staff. Just talk about, I mean, how important that is. And then on the news on the cusp of that, the Division I National Women's Basketball Championship game next year will be televised on ABC. But I just first, wanted to ask you about this staff. I mean, that's I think it's really important that we definitely hit touch on that topic. But it does carry a lot of weight, Coach Mitchell.
Yeah, no, it really does. And it's been since NYU that I've been part of an all women staff.
Hmm.
There's just something empowering about it. We may be the youngest staff in America. I don't know. It might be true. And I love the diversity in our group. We're young, we're driven, we're very family oriented. We have the same values, and I think there's just something for women, plus our, everybody on staff and all the administration,
Hmm.
just really powerful and motivating women every single day. I get to literally learn from them every single day. And I think the girls also really respond to that. There's just something to, that type of staff image. And it was definitely something that drew me as well, just based on conversation and just the values
Yeah.
again. So again, yes, we're females, but it's also like amazing people that I work
Yeah.
with. So
No.
the part of us all being women in this position is really just like a cherry on top of it.
Yeah, no, that's true. Okay, let's talk about the staff itself. Coach Mitchell, head coach Dalila Ishay, assistant coaches Sam Guastella, Amber Reisner, director of basketball operations Erica Covilla. Just talk about the fact that head coach Ishay, she spent 3 years as assistant coach at Princeton University and also was a recruiting coordinator herself. So I'm sure that really is that's just as essential as ever to have that background experience also.
Yeah, so it probably was a running joke. When I initially interviewed for the position, I was just like, yeah, I don't have experience, but you do. So
Yeah.
I'm going to learn from you because you clearly came from a really successful program. And,
Yeah.
I was just really eager to learn from someone like that. And she really makes it easy to learn and ask questions. She is kind of the Ivy League expert on staff. We're all pretty much new to it. So there's a lot that I'm still learning, that we all are learning, and we're all like, if you get a chance to read all of those bios, we just all come from such different backgrounds,
Yes.
there are like two of them that played overseas for a really long time. Amber is getting an opportunity right out of college. Like there's so much youth and so much growth still to be had, and like we're really going to be successful with just that youth, because we all know that we're really eager to grow in our fields. But I really do think we're all kind of learning everything together. So
Yeah.
having Dalila in charge helps a lot with the
Yeah.
whole Ivy League transition.
Yeah, no, I think, you know what, this is a young team as well. And I think that's something you could definitely relate to, with the staff and with the players and the team that was very successful in the 2021-22 season, won 16-11, 9-5 in the Ivy League. You definitely have a couple playmakers definitely, returning here. Forward Camille Emsbo led the team in scoring, 14.1, 10.2 rebounds per game. Jenna Clark, now a junior, 11.2 points per game. Kristen McCann, 7.5 points, and Clara Astrom, 8.8 points. So definitely a lot of pieces there, that you definitely can build around. And the president of the future looks very bright for, for the Lady Bulldogs team.
Yeah, and they obviously have a history of winning, and being at top of the Ivy League, that is definitely something that we want to keep on. But it's a new system, it's new philosophies, it's new style. We have no idea just yet, so it's kind of like you got to find what fits for your roster, as well as the roster matching your philosophies. So it'll be interesting to see how it all meshes together. One thing I will say, the girls seem very eager. They're already asking for gym time, and so I know they're really eager for this, and they want to compete, and obviously we want to compete at the highest level. But it'll be an interesting transition to kind of see how our philosophies will match with the roster and how it's all going to mesh together.
Yeah, definitely building that team chemistry, is again critical, early on. How exciting, to be now, of course, Ivy League now. This is, top teams, definitely, top conference in the country. Just talk about that as well, that component, Coach Mitchell.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. When I first started coaching, oh my gosh, 9 years ago, I guess. Whoa. I always knew that academics plays a really big factor in my life. I was always top with my academics. I had injuries. I had to lean on my academics. So I always knew, and I was at NYU, Stack, NJIT, like amazing academic institutions. There was always something that was so admirable and kind of was tugging at me about the Ivy League. I always mentioned, even with that before being here, like it's a Division I basketball experience and it's a Division I academic experience. You're really getting to balance the best of two worlds. You don't have to sacrifice one for the other. These kids essentially have a 45-year plan right after college. They're going to be world changers, and it really motivates me to like be the best coach for them, because I already know they're going to be such difference makers in the real world after they get out. So it's really inspiring to see what these kids do. And just like, we were part of a summer chain in the summertime to just kind of get to know each other. Even just how they write, what they do, what they experience, just how intellectual they are. I'm like, wow, these kids are pretty fascinating. So I'm really excited to learn more about what they do outside of basketball as well. And then, I feel like they're natural competitor. Like they compete in the classroom, they compete on a basketball court. So it seems like the traits are there to be really successful.
Yeah, they definitely have that time management organization down pat, and the fact that it's real hands-on experience, that they're learning those life lessons, from day one. And by the time, as you said, they graduate and, move on, they're
Yeah.
prepared, said right off the bat to enter, a career field.
Yep.
Let's talk about the administration, athletic department's administration with President Peter Salove and Victoria Chun, Director of Athletics. Talk about, I said it's important to have that structure in place in terms of the administration and athletic departments as well, Coach Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, Vicky Chun, the AD, has a remarkable reputation in the athletics world. I'll never forget a few months ago, I was at a women's leadership forum, and she was standing at a panel, and just the way she was talking, I didn't know her. I knew of her, but I didn't know her. And I sure didn't know that I was going to be at Yale like 2 months after that. But I just remember listening to her. I was like, wow, she's pretty cool, like
Yeah.
passionate, a woman in power. Like it. And then when she hired Dalila, I was like, wow, I see what she's trying to do here. I really love, the atmosphere here.
Yeah.
And then obviously, Anne Marie is also part of the administration. That was part of my hiring process. Very high energy, very, just passionate women. Like that's pretty much the way to word it. They're just very passionate, they're authentic, and they just make you feel welcomed right away. And they don't make coming to you hard. Like you can literally ask them any type of question. So I just feel really empowered to be a part of that kind of culture here. And kind of like knowing about the reputation prior just automatically attracted me to this opportunity naturally.
No, it's tremendous. It's really great to hear. Hey, talk about the community of New Haven, Connecticut, just the support. I'm sure that's, again, going to play a pivotal role in terms of success, for this team.
I'll let you know soon.
That's
I'll get back to you on that. I literally moved to New Haven 2 hours ago, so I'm just trying to get
situated there.
Literally situated, living in my apartment here, just moving and trying to get situated and get to know the environment. I will say the campus is absolutely beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. And there are just so many people walking around, so I imagine the community is very heavily involved. That's obviously going to be part of our goal and mission too, is to incorporate the community as much as possible. But it is beautiful. There's so many things to do here. Apparently, it's famous for its pizza, so I'm learning things too. But it's a really cute neighborhood. I get to bike to work, I get to walk to work because campus is literally massive. So it's a really welcoming and warm town, and obviously it's all surrounded around Yale. So it's just really cool to like go to the grocery store and you see people wearing the gear everywhere. So it is a pretty connected community around the university.
I think that's really important to embrace that and have that type of culture there. Talk about the facilities there. You said you talked about it, big campus, John J. Lee Amphitheater, where, said the women's basketball team plays their home games. And from what I could see on the website, and a very intimidating, said place, for road teams, to come in, for the opposing teams. Talk about just walking inside of there and just, first vibes, for you.
Yeah, it is it's very historic, it's just the feel of the campus, the facilities, they're very unique on its own. It kind of has that Ivy League stamp. I assume all the other Ivy Leagues have the same environment and the same kind of, buildings. But it is just a different, like you walk in and you feel like you're part of something historic. You feel it like you walk in and I just feel history and success like in the air. It's kind of crazy. I'm like, wow, and I came from a pretty nice facility before, and they're just so different from each other. One is more modern, very modern and beautiful, and then one is like beautiful in its historic structure, and just like walking around and seeing all the buildings and just the history behind it. I was never really into history, I'll admit that, but I will walk around and I'll see stuff on the walls and I catch myself just wanting to read it because I'm so like motivated and driven to like see what these people have done all over coming out of this place. So it's just really like the history behind it. I'm all of a sudden super into it. So I'm like just keep learning more about everything and what every single building really stands for.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it must be all inspiring. Okay, we told that you enjoyed a very successful run as an assistant coach at NJIT for 4 years. I wanted to
Yeah.
pivot to that, switch that. Definitely coming off a memorable 2021-22 season, 15 wins overall, the most since moving to the Division One in 2006 and seven seasons, setting the school record is set for 8 road wins, advancing to the America East Tournament semifinals. Second year in the conference, that 47-33 win over UMass Lowell at the Wellness Event Center, aka the WEC. Just talk about your time there, but especially last year, what that meant to you, personally, Coach Mitchell.
Yeah. Um, some of the best years of my life. Taking over this program with Mike Lane, we took a chance. I'll never
Mhm.
forget it. He was like, "Hey, you want to do this thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah.
It was very gray in the first 2 years. We were just like, "Okay, we're still doing this thing," or like, "Yeah." So
Yeah.
it was just nice. It just kind of felt like your own little baby that you got to nurture and you got to watch grow,
Yeah.
and I was very emotionally attached. I still am. I love that program. I love those kids. I love that staff. I love everyone that he hired. So I'm just so grateful for that
Yeah.
experience. I'm so grateful for Coach Lane. He really allowed me to use my voice and grow there in my role. And obviously just being a part of a program for 4 years, just watching it grow the way it
Hmm.
has, it's just really encouraging to me as a coach too, and it just made me a better person.
Yeah.
But even though you leave a program, you never really lose those relationships,
Yeah.
so I'm just really grateful for just the experience and the people that I got to meet, and I know those will be life lasting.
Yeah, no, you definitely, said cemented, in terms of your planting your seeds there up. And you were instrumental in developing players. I mean, I know it takes a village, as you said, it takes a
Right.
structure, entire staff, but there you can't as said underestimate that, in terms of Kenneth Scar, Lizzie Litwinkle, where they started, earning the accolades, in terms of as said with ASUN, and then of course America East, can you talk about I mean, it took a lot of hard work, said
Yeah.
on and off the court, but the fact to see these players, again, from where they started now here, they're going to be ending what their junior years now, and just to see the progress in these players.
Yeah, I mean, player development is a huge part of this gig, like obviously recruiting the right type of kids. And that's
Yeah.
what Coach Lane and the staff and all of us really made important first, is to get the right kids in, and
Hmm.
then develop them. And player development is just such an essential piece to a program's success. And those kids, the Kennas, the Lizzies, the Ellens, all of them, they just
Yeah.
wanted to be, they just wanted to be in a gym, and they
Yeah.
made it fun. And they always knew they would come to the gym, get a good workout in, and get better. And when you do that over and over and over again, you're naturally going to get better. You're going to gain more confidence. So,
Yeah.
again, like player development is a huge part. I was blessed with kids that wanted to be in a gym.
Hmm.
And I think like the results are what they are because of the work that they've put in. So I'm really
Yeah.
grateful that, they got in the gym with me as much as they did. But I'm more grateful that they're seeing that their work is paying off, and that they're seeing like the results and the accomplishments and some of
Yeah.
the awards they're getting because of it. So I'm just happy to be a part and push them, but it's really them that come forward and initiate it. So that was really awesome.
Yeah, it even goes stretches back to even Kelly Gorino. I mean, it said ASUN Scholar Athlete of the Year, set the school record for free throw percentage and 3-point percentage as well. I mean, that had to be really satisfying. Like, just again, like
Yeah.
even that, to see what transpired with Kelly as well. Just talk about that, Coach
Yeah,
Mitchell.
and Kelly is an OG of this whole process. We kind of started with her.
Yeah.
So I mean, and now she's coaching and she's a head coach at a high school. So it's like so interesting to see how these kids continue on with this.
Yeah.
But same thing with Kelly. Kelly had the thrive, like she had to drive, she wanted to be in the gym. She had a skill set, you just kind of needed to figure out where to put her to give her the opportunity to score as she did. But another kid always wanted to be in a gym,
Hmm.
and from day one, I was like, okay, we're gonna make this kid, we're gonna make something out of her.
Yeah.
And she, she already had it. I think that she just found her niche towards the end of her career, and we were able to put together the offense and the play development part of it. And then she was able to be as successful as she was. So
Yeah.
that's how it started. I always say it started with Kelly, and now it ended with Ellen for me. So it was a nice little transition phase to see just how it all went along.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hey, you talked about head coach Mike Lynn. Don't want to forget about two other assistant coaches, Latanya Watson, Aaron Gretsch. Just talk about, working alongside them as well, Coach Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, that was the day ones, like that's who started it. And, to see Coach Watson leave as well, shortly before I did, I think it was definitely a little bit of a shock to the program. But, it was, again, like, it's how we left it. Like, it was such a satisfying feeling to know that you've left your mark, you've done the best you could, and now other opportunities came out of it. And Coach Lane always talked about that with the girls. When you are successful, opportunities will find you. If you work hard, opportunities will find you. So I think one of the main things I took away is I'll never forget one of the girls saying how inspired she was by, our next steps. It wasn't like sadness, it was an inspiration. And that really stood with me. I was like, wow, we actually left our mark, and we're continuing to do that by just showing these girls what happens after, when you put in a lot of work, other things happen as well.
I mean, this is just, I get a well-oiled machine. You talk about with NJIT with the support staff, even. We talk about Anissa Sanchez, Director of Basketball Operations. It just did a terrific job there. And then you talk about the athletic director, Lenny Kaplan, President Dr. Joel Bloom. That it goes on. Peg Heffron. Bobby Fisk. Stephanie Polari. All these people, in their various roles. But again, the contributions that they that they made towards the program were so immense. And then again, to see that translate, to the success of the basketball program.
Yeah, that entire administration is amazing. I have nothing but amazing things to say about them. Even after I was leaving NJIT, I made a call to Peg because that's just the role that she plays in my life. We have been through a lot together as well. But I have genuine love for everybody in that program, from administration to athletic training. We're ultimately, the entire program's success is a result to everyone that is part of the experience. It's not just player development and recruiting. It's, taking care of them athletically, taking care of them strength and conditioning wise, taking care of them academically. There's so many different branches of these girls' experience that if one is kind of lacking, that affects the end results, So I was just really, really happy to be around such well-rounded people every single day during that entire experience. And, again, and I find myself in that same situation now at Yale. It's like, wow, I'm so fortunate to be a part of such amazing people every single day. And I know greatness awaits when you have the right people in the right company with you.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I don't want to leave out also Sandra Taylor as well. And you look at the WEC, you look at facilities and, and you talk about strength and conditioning, just magnificent facility. I think that you talk about something that's really appealing that will draw a prospective, students, again, if they're, in their decision making, in terms of finding a perfect, fit in terms of a college or university. The WEC right there, stands out, said immediately. I just was wondering when it comes to the game of basketball, you've played it, you've coached it. What are just some of the intangibles that stand out to you in terms of obviously you have that drive, you have that passion year after year, you're doing this. So I'm just wondering what for you is, just again about the sport that, that you enjoy the most, Coach Mitchell.
Yeah, I make jokes about this all the time. I have no idea who I am without basketball. It's a little concerning maybe, but also, it's literally brought me from Germany to this country. It's brought me to college. It's gotten me through college. I found my career at 21. I don't imagine doing anything else in my entire life until I
Yeah.
can't function anymore. So it's like I'm so happy to do something that I love. Basketball is kind of the cherry on top. What I mostly care about is impacting people. So I
Hmm.
would say the biggest trait that I think makes anyone successful in such a profession is just having compassion. And the word passion is in that. So I always thought that was interesting because, you have to be passionate about what you're doing, but you also have to really care about why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So again, it's like when I see my players succeed and thrive, and when I see them happy, when I see them get better, there's just such joy that it brings to my life. Like I started in college training my teammates, so it
Hmm.
was there was always something about serving and having compassion for someone else's success.
Yeah.
So I think like if you notice that you're truly joyful and happy when other people are successful, you got to be
Hmm.
in some sort of profession of serving, because like that is where you're going to thrive.
Yeah.
So again, my success comes from seeing everybody else succeed, and it just so happens that I get to do that through basketball. I
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
help kids get their degrees, and I get to help them make, decisions in life, make them better basketball players, but ultimately give them a relationship that they can lean on for the rest
Hmm.
of their life, give them a
Yeah.
platform that maybe they never had before. So I think just having, being compassionate is the number one trait in just about anything you do in life,
Yeah.
and especially in a profession of serving.
Yeah, no, great points you made. As you know, you need a solid support system as well. I wanted to ask you about your family, just what they've meant to you along this journey. I said not only, of course, playing the sport, but now coaching it as well, coaching basketball. So just talk about that as well, Coach Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, my parents are the main factor of where, like, they're the main reason why I am where I'm at.
Hmm.
They made a huge sacrifice when I was 13 years old, moving here for me to pursue the sport. So if it weren't for that, I'm not really too sure
Yeah.
what I would be doing in Germany right now. But obviously, like, they took a chance. They made huge sacrifices for me.
Hmm.
And then through that, they never really pushed me to be anything except for being good in my schoolwork. But when it came to finding my passion, it just happened really organically. And then
Hmm.
they just supported me in any type of way possible. So every step of the way, my biggest cheerleaders, my biggest supporters, my biggest motivators, they are my absolute best friends in this entire world.
Yeah.
So I live to make them proud, but I also know, like, they're going to continue to push me, but I know that they're very, very proud of me. So when I got this job, they were actually overseas, and it was like 2
Okay.
a.m. And
Yeah.
I called them and I was like, hey, guess what? And first they were like, you're kidding, and then they started crying. And then it was
Uh,
like, we're leaving, and I was like, no, I'm still 2 hours away. But they're just so proud, and it makes me happy. And again, right back to compassion, it makes me
yeah.
so happy to see how proud it makes them. And when they talk about it and when they talk to other people, just seeing the smile on their face, like it just makes me feel happy that I can give that back to them, because they gave so much to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, before you get the final word and message, Coach Mitchell, you're in a perfect spot to offer advice to those younger kids, athletes out there, as well as people who want to break into the coaching ranks. So I'm gonna allow you, just to. I'm sure people watching this, said, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, just be authentic, be yourself. I think if you're your original version every single day, and you work really hard, and you are compassionate for others, opportunities are going to find you.
Hmm.
Everyone is hardworking, everyone is punctual, everyone has great work ethic, but ultimately, like, there's only one of you. Embrace that person that you are, be that person every single day. And then you put together the hard work, the passion, the compassion. But if
Hmm.
you're able to just live your true self every single day and embrace who you are going to find the right people that are going to be with you in your journey. So I was just really lucky to learn that at a young age and embrace that. So now when I see young coaches and young players, I just want them to express themselves and come
Hmm.
out and just be themselves.
Yeah.
So I just think that if you just know who you are, or you're on a journey of finding out who you are, just work on that journey every single day, because it just results to a beautiful end result.
You know what? You could be a motivational speaker. Hey, side gig, I don't care.
My dad would love that. My dad would love that. He always
I mean,
so.
you preach, the gospel. I'm telling you, like everything that you're saying, it's just like I sort of could really relate to, because and even though it came at a later, stage in my life, but I truly believe in what you're saying, that you wake up, I think, every day with purpose, with meaning, and you know what's ahead of you, and that, as you said, making that impact on people's lives is so
everyone's purpose is different. You just gotta figure out what it is that is your thing, that makes you thrive, and that makes you the best version of yourself, and then you stick with that, and you're going to be really happy.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Coach Mitchell, you get the final word and message. I was going to say, for family, friends, former players, coaches, administration, athletic department, especially NJIT, and now here at your current home, at Yale University, for the women's basketball team, the players, the coaches, staff, administration, athletic department, the fan base out there. The floor is yours, Coach Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a person of gratitude. I take it back all the way to my first opportunity at NYU with Lauren Hall. Would probably not be here without her taking a chance on me back then. So very thankful for that. Very thankful for Stack and Kim Luss for taking on a chance with me as well. Then obviously Mike Lane taking a chance on me with NJIT and what we've done there. I'm super, super grateful for Dalila for taking me on this journey. I can't wait to start a new journey. I can't wait to get going with these girls. I can't wait to get started in this community and, with that administration. I am beyond grateful for every single little step I had in my life. And, I try to do the best I can to reach out to those people every single time and express my gratitude. So I'm just really eager to get going. I want people to follow us. I want people to come check us out. Hopefully by that time I actually know how to tour this campus. But, we'll get there. But, I'm just very, very grateful to be here, and so grateful for every single person who has been a part of that journey, even, from the slightest gestures. So I'm happy to be here with you. I thank you for giving me this platform every single day. So thank you for continuously doing this for, women and us in sports, and just generally giving people a voice. So I thank you for being part of the journey as well.
Thank you for those kind words, Coach Mitchell. Absolutely a true honor and privilege, being able to interview you. Congrats on your success, and wishing you all the best here at Yale University on the women's basketball team.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.